And now, the #1 pay-per-view in WWE history. I'm sure you all know what it's going to be, so let's not waste any more time. Here it is. December to Dismember. No, I'm kidding. I don't think I got anybody this time anyways, so whatever. The Attitude Era was arguably the biggest era in WWE history. Certainly from a financial standpoint, and many would say from a creative standpoint. So when you think about the biggest pay-per-view of the biggest era in WWE, the obvious #1 pick is WrestleMania 17 from the Houston Astrodome in 2001. And when you look at the card for this pay-per-view, that pretty much seals the deal, because this was one of the best pay-per-view cards WWE ever put out for their biggest show of the year. And you look at the main event, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock. Regardless of how I feel about the finish, I'm not a big fan of the finish, and I thought turning Steve Austin was a bad decision, and it ended the pay-per-view on a sour note for me personally. But when you look at that match, it was epic. That's really the only way to describe it. It was the biggest match that WWE ever put out, and the most physical back and forth match that WWE ever did. You had Stone Cold Steve Austin kicking out of all The Rock's finishers, The Rock kicking out of Stone Cold's finishers, both of them using each other's finishers, and it was, as Gorilla Monsoon once put it, the irresistible force meeting the immovable object. That's what it was. And unlike Hogan and Andre, this had the physicality that Hogan and Andre just didn't have. Austin and The Rock were just incredible athletes and were able to go out there and just beat the crap out of each other and keep those 70,000 people on the edge of their seats. And it was in Texas, so Austin had the crowd advantage. And the finish, as controversial as it was something shocking. Seeing Steve Austin and Vince McMahon shaking hands at the end, certainly something people never thought they would see. So it did, at least on that note, deliver a big ending for WrestleMania. And the rest of the card, it was fantastic. You had Undertaker and Triple H, great match. You had the gimmick battle royal, the wrestle crap moment. But, you know, it was really cool from a nostalgic point of view. You got to see a lot of old stars from the past come back one more time. And me personally, I'd like to see another gimmick battle royal at some point. It's cool seeing all the legends, just as long as there's some other legends besides the usual guys like Dusty Rhodes and Roddy Piper. And then you had the TLC match. Once again, Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys tearing it up, taking all sorts of risks. And you had Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon. This was coming off of the final Nitro, where Shane McMahon was revealed to be the new owner of WCW. So you had the whole new beginning here with WCW and what would go on to be the Invasion. And Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero against Test, Chris Jericho against William Regal. It was like a dream card, you know. At the time, if you told fans to come up with their dream card, a lot of these matches would have been on that list. So WWE really put together a truly great WrestleMania card, and like I said, biggest pay-per-view of the biggest era, and one of the best pay-per-views WWE ever put out, in my opinion. I would say it's #1. So there you have it.